Hi, what's your name and where are you from?
Nadine, and I was born in Toronto in North York. We
Yeah.
moved to Richmond Hill, and then I moved on my own out a couple of times from my parents' house.
Yeah.
Then I moved to British Columbia after my brother. He went to rehab for 2 years,
Yeah.
and I moved to BC. I found work, so I stayed for 10 years. I got into a relationship with a guy, and he got me involved in drugs, and I lost my job, so I came back to Toronto. I got pregnant, had a baby, and my son's all grown up now. He's about almost 20 years, and almost 20 years I've been doing drugs.
What drugs are you on?
Crack cocaine and crystal methamphetamine.
So you're not on.
Not highly involved. I just do it
No
as
smoking, of course.
yeah.
What about fentanyl? You're not on that?
Sometimes I smoke the fentanyl just to ease the pain from a bad accident I had. I was held hostage at work, and I was trying to make a claim, and they said that I only had 2 years to do the claim for workers' comp and criminal compensation, but I'm fighting it. I'm gonna try to get a claim so I get a good pension plan or something. I'm 49, turning 50 in July. That's my birthday is July. I know. How old are you?
I'm quite old, man.
Yeah, you're quite old. We won't say.
Yeah, but what was I saying to you? So that's your. So what was your
About
upbringing?
friendships and stuff, about like people that I'm
What was
close
your-
to.
What was your upbringing like?
My mom's strict Muslim. She went to finishing school like for etiquette and stuff like that. So
What's your background? Sorry.
I was kind of the black sheep of the family. My background is my mom is from Trinidad and Tobago,
Yeah.
and my dad is Guyanese, but they're first generation born in those countries.
Yeah, so
My dad's background is East India.
Yeah.
So they were fighting back when I was a kid. The whole country of India was fighting for power. The West Indian and the East Indian, and then the middle, which is Pakistan. So now it's all one country, and everybody's moved to Canada.
Okay.
A lot of people aren't landed yet, and they're worried about it, and they're fighting.
A bit more about your mental health, please.
My mental health, well, I got a lot of help in Vancouver. I used to go to a therapist and a doctor, and they gave me medication that's like a weekly prescription, olanzapine, and it's for schizophrenia. But originally I was just in detox in the hospital in Vancouver for ecstasy, the drug ecstasy. I OD'd in a club, and I went to the hospital for 2 months. I learned yoga, which is a really good thing to know, like basic yoga. And they let me out of the hospital for 2 weeks, and then I started taking medication, and they also gave me an Ativan for take as needed for like just extra help, like 10 pills for 2 weeks. It was just a take as needed pill, so they give you the 10 pills and you can take it as much as you need it. But I'm on regular medication still right now. I get an injection.
If you had 2 wishes, what would your 2 wishes be?
To be close to my family again, and to be young again, and also to have money coming in and have a bank account, which I can't explain to you how much I've tried to recover from like people like stealing from me. I spent 7.5 years of 15 that I lived at Strawn House in jail for stupidity, like tickets and stuff on warrants that I didn't show up to court. But that wasn't because of laziness, it was just because I was having trouble in the building with people stealing from me, and I still do have trouble with like making friends and stuff like that. But I know that most people that I'm around right now care about me, and they take concern about what's wrong with me. But I'm an easy target, let's say, for yelling and screaming and people blaming other people for things that they should be responsible for. That's a drug addict's life.
And with regards to the nights in, how are they treating you? What's it like?
They do very well. They give us meals 3 times a day, and they're usually really good meals. Like it's a good protein for chicken and rice, dry foods because of health difficulties. Make sure that I'm healthy. I used to be a vegetarian for a long time. That's even more expensive than living, and living off of minimum wage is like really hard because you're just barely paying your rent for like a bachelor or 1 bedroom. Here we get it free. and I really am very happy about that. Like, I mean, otherwise I'd have no place to go and I'd be living outside.
Wow.
And crippled that I am, I don't believe that I should have to do that. Or get kicked out after 20 years of service to pay rent and stuff to the Strawn House.
And are they,
These people are doing very nicely for us, and they concern with everything, like how comfortable you are, no matter if you're a drug addict or not. They're doing, and we have a lot of community safety workers like yourself. They're always concerned about us, and they want to know if we're okay and if we're comfortable, which makes a lot of sense. I feel like I know these people, like not family, but like close to like schoolmates, you know. That's all.
safe in there for you, or?
Yeah, it's fairly safe. Like, there's no dangerous threats or anything like that. But sometimes you get in fight amongst each other for stealing, or someone continuously asking you for things that you don't have at the moment. And if I don't have it, I can't give it to them. But usually I like to share. My mom always taught me that as a Muslim, right?
Yeah,
It's a religious, spiritual thing to share with people around you when they don't have anything. And you notice that they're in pain. That was one of my theories, is to be able to continue to share no matter what I have.
And what's it called? So those two were your wishes.
Do I have any other beliefs, you mean?
No.
Scaring?
What should the government do?
The government should bring back volunteer work for like a paid amount for disability, to not just for young adults, but for like older people that are out of work and been out of work because of disability other than mental health. Mental health is really important, but a lot of people ignore the fact that they're mentally insane, and they get angry very fast, and they don't see doctors and stuff. I'm really concerned about that, because it turns to violence, and I've been in situations where there's threats and stuff amongst us, and they're by men versus women. I don't appreciate it, and I think that it should change, and the government should hold more programs, like day programs and stuff like that I went to, like a rehab program, but nothing very, very serious, like you have to be in-house, and curfews and stuff like in the shelters. Like, you should have permanent housing without any question, and know that you're safe like that, first of all, you know, without the violence or anybody threatening you for your living conditions or your living space or whatever.
And
what do you think?
Well, what I think is obviously mental health is a big issue.
Yeah, it is. It totally is.
And,
but
that's what I'm here for. I'm here to ask you guys: are you guys being looked after?
Yeah, we are. There's
Is there anything that they're lacking of? Are they closing soon?
Well,
if they are, do they have a place for you guys next?
Yeah, they do have a place for us. We're all moving to the subsidy from Strawn House moved here because of like the leaking roofs and stuff like that. They have to repair it. I don't know if they're gonna redo Strawn House, or they're gonna rebuild it like they say within 5 years. But we have stable housing coming up in Kensington Market area in Chinatown. It's on Dundas and Spadina area. There's a coffee shop, there's drugstore, Rexall drugstore, there's a Tim Hortons around the corner, and it's all safe with people that we know.
And another thing, just about the crack cocaine and the fentanyl. You said you don't mess with fentanyl. You said you
No, I don't. I heard it. You can OD very easily, and there's a couple people that have died recently on. Yeah. That they've OD'd on fentanyl. I'm worried about my one of my good friends. He's 67. He likes to smoke the fentanyl when he doesn't have crack, and it bothers me because he's a serious addict. And when I first met him over 15 years ago, he wasn't at all like that. He's gotten into the wrong ambition and the wrong feeling, because I think he's concerned about his age. And I think that's a lot of people are concerned about their age, and they forget the fact that hearing voices is not normally something to do in life. It's for people like you to help us with, like, you know, the upcoming opinion of like doctors, like my psychiatrist and stuff. Right now I'm not really getting help that I want. I've asked over and over again about a psychiatrist because they cut me off because I was supposedly not meeting my goals, which was not true because someone kept stealing all my ID and stuff, and the social worker at St. Michael's Hospital got fed up with replacing it or helping me to replace all the stuff that I've lost, right? And she had to assume that it was my fault when it wasn't. So I'm concerned about that, and that's the safety that I'm concerned about. As far as violence and stuff like that, I can deal with it. I'm a pretty strong girl. I brought up with a lot of uncles and aunties from my family, but the thing I miss the most, as far as mental health and crying and being sad, it's because I want to be close to my family again.
Where were your family?
They live in Aurora now. They moved from like Richmond Hill, and they live somewhere. I don't know where they live exactly. I phone my dad sometimes. He doesn't return my phone calls because he's about 80 years old now. My mom's 83, and I haven't seen them or heard from them really. He had his own life, and he's always been a really busy person. Never really had the time to stop and talk with him and stuff. But I was the black sheep of the family too.
Okay, and what's it called? You said that people have OD'd in there because of the fentanyl.
Yeah, and died.
A bit more about the fentanyl, like who's bringing it in?
I really don't know. It comes from a various of different places, and you know, these dealers that are in the building or people that are selling in the building end up going in debt because they're too kind and giving people drugs for free and stuff like that. And then there's certain people they pick on, like myself, and I always end up giving money to the dealers because they're my friends, right? And I can understand the situation she's in. I've given her like my whole check basically a couple of times, and then she turns around and says that I smoke it all, and there's no possible way that I can ever do that amount of sharing that I do and everything like that. I've never smoked a whole ball on my own, but it's easy to access. There's people that have come up to me on the highway and at the gas station when I'm panhandling and ask me if I want to buy anything and stuff, and they're pretty nice people and they look like familiar faces and stuff. So there's always drugs available. It's just the quality of safety that you don't want to bring too many people into this situation, because then they start getting greedy about it and people hoard them and owe the money and stuff, and then that's going to cause a lot of problems. If you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. Fentanyl is really dangerous.
Yeah, it's very dangerous. But I heard that like from my experience, I heard fentanyl is like a drug you take before surgery. That's what my understanding of fentanyl is something to soothe your inside from pain and stuff and suffering from when you have surgery. So that's what I use it for, like my throat or whatever, you know, like just to ease some pain.
What about heroin? You don't mess with
I've done heroin, but I've done it in BC, and it's easy to get anywhere you go. Like, I mean, I got hooked up with the crystal meth. All I had to do was go to the door, put my money under the door, and they put the package under the door, and I never really have to deal with the dealer too much. As far as the cocaine, I met the dealer through my boyfriend. There was no trouble. They would drive up within 5-10 minutes to my apartment, which was like housing that from BC housing. And there was never any trouble. I never got in trouble with the police. But when I came to Strawn House, they picked on me. And
sorry to cut you off. And
no.
Last one, because this part now it's gonna go on my Patreon.
Okay.
Last question.
Okay.
Can you tell me something that I can't put on regular place, like something really, like the most disturbing thing that you've seen? That I want to hear.
Yeah, a girl fighting with a guy and beating on each other. For no reason, like stupid reasons, like they're jonesing for crack, or they have like, you know, something on their mind, like someone robs them or something, and it's usually someone in the building that thinks they're better than people because they seem to be stronger, like a woman that shows off because she seems to be stronger, bigger, tougher, or blacker than the next person. And that's an excuse that's still being used, no matter if you believe me or not, but it's a racist comment that always gets to you, you know. It's a war between races, really.
That's the worst, like that's the worst.
And good looks, and that's the worst part about it is because I'm innocent of everything except to smile at a guy and come on to a guy when I don't really realize I'm doing it wrong because of the trouble I had in school growing up and being ignored by my parents and not learning what my mom was trying to teach us. And that's mostly my fault. I'd say 60% my fault, 40% my mother's for ignoring the fact that I was having trouble. I couldn't help it, you know.
And, with regards to your teeth, is it gone because of the crack?
I got, well, fillings. I was in jail and they were supposed to give me fillings. The pain was too much and it wasn't rotting from not brushing my teeth. I've always been clean.
It's just the smoke.
Yeah, it's the smoking and the nicotine and the stains and stuff like that, and I just decided to get them removed because I'm older. It's part of being a class system, kind of like having some kind of ambition in your life to be beautiful, right? It's not necessarily from over smoking crack. It's just because I felt that
life, you get older, right?
You get older.
What was I gonna ask you? Thank you for everything. Do you have any advice for anyone listening to you now? If this was a younger you, what would you advise yourself?
Well, from what the music says, I think do what you want.
Do what you want?
Yeah, as long as you're safe about it and you're friendly. Just do what you want, until you get through it. And if you want to quit, you quit. If you don't want to quit, you don't quit. And if there are any questions, to always make sure you get answers from the right person. Like if from a higher, well, I'll call it a higher power, these social workers and the community safety workers. They're my higher power because I can always go to the boys in the hallway when they're working, the community safety team, ask them questions, carry on a conversation, get friendly with them without them assuming that I'm coming on to them. And they've been good to me. They've always been that good.